review expressions and equations. What is the value of the following expression? I've got many different operations going on. Where do I start? Well, the helpful PEMDAS, written this way, will tell you what to do first, second, third, and last. So looking at step 1, P stands for parentheses. I have parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and do that first. 6 minus 1 is 5. I'm going to cross that off and bring everything else down. Okay, I don't have any more parentheses. I can cross that off. Exponent is when you have like a little number in the corner of another number. We don't have that. Step 3 is multiplication and division, whichever one comes first, starting from left going across to the right. That's why we have the arrow here. So forgive me, I'm going to look like a robot and look for multiplication or division, whichever one comes first. Aha, I've got multiplication right now, and so I'm going to do 12 times 5, which is 60. I cross that off, I bring everything else down. Now I'm on this step, still looking for multiplication or division, whichever one comes first. Aha, I've got division here. 60 divided by 3 is 20. Crossing that off, bringing everything else down. Now I have a multiplication and an addition. I'm still not done, so I'm going to do the multiplication, and that is 80. Crossing that off, bringing everything else down, and I'm left with addition. And 80 plus 1 is 81. Final answer. Many people like to draw a triangle or a Dorito, and the idea about that is that you're doing one piece at a time. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. You shouldn't be doing scratch paper work in one big, long problem vertically where you have your answer. That is going to trip you up in the long run. So let's do the next problem I have here. And we've got two different types of grouping symbols. I have parentheses and I have, I have brackets and I have parentheses. Of course, there's other things going on. I'm going to do my order of operations. The arrows. Brackets are a type of parentheses or grouping symbol, and I like to call brackets capital parentheses. I'm going to start with those first. They're more important. I'm going to go, okay, I've got parentheses here, brackets, I'm going to cover those up. If what was inside the brackets was a problem all by itself, then my problem would be inside parentheses 15 minus 5 plus inside parentheses 9 minus 3. I would do this set of parentheses first. That answer is 10. Crossing that off, bringing everything else down. Everything else down. If I'm still with the brackets, covering that up, and inside I would do the parentheses first. Here we go. 9 minus 3 is 6. Crossing that off, bringing everything else down. Okay, still with a grouping symbol, I'm going to take care of the 10 plus 6, that's 16. Crossing that off, bringing everything else down. And so I've done the parentheses, there's no exponents, no multiplication or addition or division this time, and I'm on addition. 12 plus 16 is 28. Final answer. And again, one step at a time, getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay. Sometimes you'll have a situation in which you have to match an equation with a problem. So a jewelry designer has 120 beads in one day. She uses 3 packets of 12 beads and 4 packets of 10 beads. Which expression shows what is left in one day? And then you would be presented with these different expressions. Wow. My best advice that I like to tell students is just solve the problem. You know how to solve the problem just if it was the way that it is. We have 120 beads, okay? She uses 3 packets of 12, so let's find out how much that would be. Okay, so she uses 36, and then she uses 4 packets of 10 beads, so 10 times 4, she uses another 40. I'm going to combine the 40 and the 36 to find out that she uses 76. She had 120. We're going to subtract the 76 that she uses. And we know, without having to look at any complicated equation, that she has 44 left. Looking at my answer choices, I could use the PEMDAS that we just did in the other 2 problems to go, well, which one of these, is it this one, this one, this one, or this one, gives me my answer 44. We know that the answer has to be 44. If by chance more than one of these gives you the answer of 44, you could certainly go, okay, well, what did I do? I multiplied 12 times 3, I multiplied 10 times 4, I added those, and then I subtracted from 120. When you look at those equations given, this would be the one in which they multiplied 3 times 12, they multiplied 4 times 10, they added that together to give us the 76, and then they subtracted it from 120. If you had just done the order of operations on this first one, you would have found out that you got the answer 44. Of course, you would want to check and make sure the others don't, but it's highly likely that it would have been that one. Last problem. What rule matches the table? I've got 1 necklace is 16 beads, 2 necklaces is 32 beads, so on and so forth. X is the necklaces and Y is how many beads. So is it A or B, C, or D that matches the table? So what I like to do is just go ahead and start with, if X is 1, let's try this equation. 2 times 1, if X is 1, does it give me 16? Well, we know that 2 times 1 equals 2. If this is X, then this would be Y, and of course 2 is not 16, so this is not the rule that would fit this table. Let's try equation B. We have Y equals X plus 16. Again, if X is 1, we'll try 1 plus 16, and that answer is 17. Y would be 17 if X is 1. Again, does not match this table, so we know that it's not answer B. How about C? If X is 1, does that give me, if X is 1, does that give me Y is 16? Yes, it does. The trick is that it has to work for each component. So sure, yes, it works for that, but does it work if X is 2, does Y equal 32? So we'll go ahead and try 16 times 2. Does that give me 32? Yes, it does. How about if X is 4? Does 16 times 4 give me 64? Be working that out on a piece of scratch paper, and yes, it does. Finally, what about if X is 8? Does 16 times 8 give me 128? Let's see. 6 times 8. And yes, it does. So I'm very certain that my answer choice is C. This is the rule that matches this table. Wouldn't hurt to go back and make sure that this one doesn't trip you up. Maybe you did something wrong. Because yes, 1, if X is 1, 1 plus 15 is 16. However, if X is 2, 2 plus 15 is not 32. So that's why it is not D.